The one thing I would actually invest in is like popcorn for dinner uniform, shirts, hoodies.
That industry hoodie is not enough for you.
No, I just need something that I can just wear throughout every recording. I don't need to think
Fair enough.
about. For someone who is actually visually on the internet, I don't think a lot about my visual look, which I need to probably fix. Like I only think, does this video look okay? Which admittedly, guys, if you're watching on YouTube this week, probably doesn't look great. But like it's like I don't think, oh, do I look okay? Like I don't go to the barber every week. I probably should put a bit more
Effort in your appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
As someone who has scores of videos and scores of watchers on the internet on YouTube, I should probably fix it.
Our faces are the only things that are going to take us out the hood. Nobody's here for our opinions. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine. You've always lived your life knowing that your face is an international passport. I could only wish I could live the life that you live.
Okay.
I just and
Crazy
then like
times.
yeah, Ebube is just he's there, and then he's like, if his face doesn't work, which is like 1 out of 20 times, he's like, do you know I can play the guitar as well? It's just like you know what? It's fine.
Guitars
fine.
have
I'm
nothing to do with anything.
I'm assembling it to show.
That's a completely different category of life.
If we were watching Barbie and then that sequence where which Ken was it that was singing at someone? Was it Kingsley Benadia's Ken?
I was going to
And
say.
it was like,
Yeah,
I think it was him, and everybody was like, "Oh," everybody was like, "Is this fucking play about us?" Oh my god!
wow.
Okay, are you guys ready? Should we recommend some TV shows?
I am ready, man.
We might as well.
Very ready.
That's why we told them to come. So
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. I'm Bankole Mokwede, and today we're going to be recommending some shows that you guys will hopefully enjoy over the next few weeks while we are on our little break. And joining me to go through the countless streaming platforms to find a show that can hopefully ease your industry pain. Guys, pinch them because they are still in shock that they get an actual summer holiday. It's Ebuka Ebube. How you guys doing? Any big plans?
well, still thinking about it since the summer holiday is coming in the fall. But
Yeah, it's like
a holiday.
we live a different schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Pretty much just going to do the exact same things, but off camera and off mic.
Wow.
Exactly.
Don't say that because then they'll think I'm actually not beating the slave driver allegations.
I'm kidding. I'm just going to. I'm going to relax. I'm going to maybe do a bit of light traveling. Tried some restaurants that I've been looking at, but just haven't had a chance to.
Okay,
towards-
calm down. This
And
seems
work on
like a
some
really
music.
Anthony Bourdain.
oh, okay, music. Yeah, I was like, that holiday seemed like a serious holiday. Who's paying you? Do I know? Don't worry, guys. This is a HR enforced holiday.
Mad.
Ebuka, any plans?
Oh,
You've been having holidays even when I didn't give them to you. So
I'm planning a dopamine fast. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm gonna try to do like
Oh,
I don't.
10
okay.
days without my phone.
What is that? Explain.
So 10 days, no phone, no social media, and bunch of reading. Actually, I wouldn't say dopamine fast. I'll just say like a slow dopamine release. Bunch of reading and
anything that lights up your
studying.
frontal lobe too much.
Exactly. Reading, studying, doing some hobbies. Just, getting up social
What does
media.
no phone mean?
Like no social media. Like, of course, I'll still use my calculator
Okay.
and weather
And we
app.
can still
No,
contact
but
him.
like
Yeah,
just to text people.
Yeah, I'll text people, of course.
I mean, hopefully by the time this comes out, I'm already done it. But once our industry episode goes out, I'm just checking out of social media for a bit, man. I need to rest the eyes. So and I join you on that. I won't lie to myself about a fast because I know myself. I'll probably tune in once in a while. Since those are the places I have real friends, so I need to share
Wow.
my thoughts with them.
Just wow.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I feel your pain, Bunky.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to recommend some shows, like I said, mostly shows that are coming out in October and November. We'll be back in the middle of November, so hopefully we can tidy you up till then. But first of all, if you somehow, some way, you watched Industry but you missed our 2 month coverage of it, then you have a bunch of episodes to catch up on. Basically, like 17 episodes, I think. So
Yeah.
that's
2 month,
we're looking
17
at
episodes.
almost 20 hours of industry content, which doesn't make sense when you actually put it in those kind of cold words, but here they are. But also, if you are new here, we have a summer's worth of coverage: House of the Dragon, The Boys, The Bear, Bridgerton. We covered all those shows, so like feel free to scroll up and listen. Ebuka, what was your favorite coverage you did this summer?
Ooh, I think industry aside, right?
Yeah, industry aside.
House of the
I count
Dragon,
industry as four.
easily.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And you're eating that just because it is here.
No. I think I've said it to him separately and you privately as well. I really enjoyed the coverage. We do good work
Maybe do you have
on
a
Popcorn for
favorite?
Dinner.
Don't spray in your arm trying to pat yourself on the back. What was that?
Yeah, it's favorite thing I've covered. Definitely House of Dragon for sure. Like that's the most coverage I've done this year aside from industry. So since we're talking about actually just covering stuff and like thinking about it, all that stuff, then yeah, it would be House of the Dragon. I'm not entirely sure if I would call it my favorite experience or something that I've watched this year, but I guess I'll save that for like when we talk about like the end of year rankings and everything. Not that I didn't like House of Dragon. Of course, I loved House of Dragon.
I mean, okay.
I'm just saying there's something that I looked forward to every week, maybe even more.
Is it a show that you've already podcasted on this year?
I don't know if I should answer that because I've only done one other show.
Yeah, so that's the answer. Well, two, I guess, if you count industry, but we know what the answer is. Like,
Okay, then yeah, I guess we know what the answer is, and then everybody listening to this.
hate to break it to you, but that's not the best show this year, boy. That's
I mean, it's not. I'm just saying that
this year.
everything that I've enjoyed, like I was looking forward to every week, that kind of thing.
If we can fight it out, the best show of the year is in London, not Japan. But anyways, as always, please rate and review.
I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, I didn't think this is getting into end of year discussion, but I didn't think industry was going to get close to it. It's been, by the way, Shogun. Like, I didn't think it was going to get close to Shogun. I was quite impressed that they were able to get to his opinion.
Like, industry truly impressed me. I wasn't expecting any of that, and like, it's just nice that there was like at least 3 shows that I can say, every single week is like I'm not missing this no matter what happens, and that's just nice. Like, this is a good year.
Or like Ebuka, who only watched industry so that he can feel cool among the internet. Deep down, he hates that show. He has strong feelings about
that man. I believe just like football, stop watching, get out on the street and start doing. I live in London, like these guys, so I don't need to watch. I don't need to coach. You know what I say about people who coach, right? They don't play. I'm in London. I can go to these places, see these things.
You can live that life. I
exactly.
Yeah. Buy 500,000, a $500,000 house that is run down. It's basically a crack den in probably Southwest, to be fair.
Man, like when you compare
that house is probably in Clapham.
I don't even think 500k gets you that house in Clapham. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Cost of living crisis.
Oh, I think living in, if you decide that you like London, you basically have to accept that you're not going to own a house. So you have to make the decision at some point.
So where do you think he got the house?
Oh, it's in London, but it could be east. It could be
it's in London, but like
it could be south, but outside, like a little bit outside. That has a nice commute to the center. But that's a good point, actually.
For everyone confused, we're talking about Robert Spearing from industry.
Yeah, Robert Spearing. Yeah. Sorry, that was for the London people. Anyway, okay. But yes, please, if you are listening, please rate and review. We are seeing the number of Spotify ratings gradually increasing, so that pleases us. Thank you very much. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please leave a review as well. It can just be you can just say great podcast or funny podcast, just as long as there's a word review to go along with your hopefully 5-star rating. And if you're looking to support us further, there's a link in this episode description where you can quote unquote buy us a coffee. And whatever you're able to contribute to be very helpful. And thank you to all those who have contributed us already. I think that's okay. Newsletter. Please subscribe to our newsletter. Our latest one, If I Have Done My Job Right, should have come out last week and should have been on House of the Dragon. I wonder if future me is already cursing me, but hopefully I have stuck to my deadlines. And finally, is the cinema returned after their own break with their thoughts on Joker 2, Ebuka's most anticipated film of the year.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna pretend.
Hashtag.
Yeah, I'm looking
Fleck was
forward.
right. Did you like the first Joker?
Film. Yeah, it was cool. And like, I did not like it, but I trust in Lady Gaga.
Hey, did you like the first Joker?
That's probably my answer too. I didn't not like it. Like, I don't know if I was particularly enthused, but I definitely thought it was interesting, and I thought it was an interesting angle on the character.
Exactly.
Plus, Joaquin Phoenix. Like,
are you looking forward to Joker 2? It's not a musical, because in this one they use music to say their real feelings, as opposed to like every other musical where.
Well, that's just become a thing with any movie that Lady Gaga finds herself in. So I just that's just the trend at this point.
Not too much on Gaga. The star is what was going on around the timeline the other day.
Okay.
There's music, there's dancing. I'm so excited for Joker.
Yeah, it should be fun though. I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually expand on the character, because now they've created a world.
Okay, guys, so we're going to kind of recommend some shows. As I've mentioned a few times, it's recording. The main criteria are October and November shows with a little bit of sneak. So I think I will just start off. Oh, actually, no, let me not start off. Ebube, you start off. So we have one category here that is called sneak, which is basically a show that you can sneak in that probably started airing before October. What's your sneak?
Okay, my sneak is something a bit different than what people might expect. And it's something that I haven't quite fully gotten into, but I find just intriguing so far. And a bunch of people have already recommended to me. Plus the title rhymes, which, I mean, it tells me somebody put thought into this. It's called...
Your bar is so low.
I listen, for this genre, my bar is definitely low. And I don't want to seem like a hater, but... But you know what? It is what it is. And I'm coming at this with an open mind. It is The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. This is interesting to me because it's reality TV, but it feels like it's doing a little bit more than that. It feels almost like expose in a sense. It feels almost documentary-like. I'm going to read the official description. So one of the official descriptions is saying that, well, first of all, it's on Hulu. So I guess depending on where you are, it might also be on Disney Plus. The scandalous world of a group of Mormon mom influencers implodes when they get caught in the midst of a swinging sex scandal that makes international headlines. Now their sisterhood is shook to its core. Faith, friendship, and reputations are all on the line. Will #Mom Talk be able to survive and continue to give the rule book a run for its money? Or will this group fall from grace? It's actually
and this
pretty
is a documentary. It's not scripted.
Sometimes it's hard for me to tell, to be honest.
Okay, but it doesn't present as scripted. It's not. It's not going to be in best drama of the year. Okay, fair.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to be in any of those categories. But it is a fun watch. It's something that I think might surprise people. It's something that might engage them more than they expect. And I literally know people who have watched it and they're looking for more people to watch it with so they can watch it again, but with someone else. Like, people are enjoying it that much.
Okay. And
so, yeah.
Ebuka just texted me, wanted me to know who made you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, was there a particular person that said, come on, watch it beside me? Okay, I just didn't know that you were going around your own Disney Plus and watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It just seems like that a particular person kind of says, why don't we watch this while we eat? And then you're like, who's this character? And, okay, I'm just Ebuka's question, not mine. Ebuka's question.
Someone tried.
I would tell Ebuka to look within.
Someone tried to explain Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to me, and I
Yeah,
think at some point I realized none of these words were in the Bible, and I just couldn't keep up anymore. When they started bringing up, when I started hearing like soft swinging and hard swinging, I was like, okay, yeah, this has
wait,
got a bit.
The Mormon
Com-
wives are swinging.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a swinging
Swing,
sex
swinging Mormon
scandal.
wives.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's so like the whole thing is just like completely outrageous.
Damn, I have to put it up for research purposes.
Yeah, it just started in September, so yeah, that's my
Speak
sneak.
well on the Hulu front. My sneak is How to Die Alone.
Mm,
This
good one.
is a. I realized when I was coming up with the list, most of my shows are comedies. I don't know why that is. I can't think of
because
any
it's
dramas
spooky
coming out
season
in
and you're a
October or
coward,
November.
Uh,
That
well,
seems unnecessarily pointed. I
well,
just like
why are we attacking?
it's like so seems unnecessary. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't just sign up to go watch a movie that is meant to scare me. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, seems unnecessary, but whatever. Um, yeah, no, it's How to Die Alone. It is created and stars Natasha Rothwell, who hopefully between her role on Insecure as Kelly and then the White Lotus season 1 and upcoming season 3, most of our listeners know who she is. Has either of you heard of this show?
Yeah,
yeah, I heard
yeah, I
about
Um,
have.
it. Seems very wholesome.
why was your it? So that was an interesting thing. So by the time people listen to this, all episodes will be out. I've only seen 2 episodes at the time of recording, and maybe it's my current, maybe it's a current mental state that I'm not aware of that I'm in. But the first episode itself was like it was really devastating. Like
Oh,
it's an intriguing thing. I was thinking, oh, why didn't this blow up? Because I'm watching it a bit later. Why didn't this blow up on Twitter? But like it's one of those things where I think it's not earnest, but it's very transparent and like holds all its emotions on its sleeve. And those emotions are quite not toxic, that's the wrong word, but they are quite stressful. She's a woman who, quick synopsis, a woman who feels like lost in her life. She's working at a quote unquote dead end job at the airport. And through some series of events, she dies for almost 3 minutes on her birthday. But when she goes to the
jeez.
hospital, she really can't like call anyone. Like there's no one in her life she really could. She ends up calling her brother to come and pick her up from the hospital. But he ignores the call like twice, and then he eventually picks her up, and then he basically berates her, and then she has to leave his car on the way. Like it's a really, she's not living a great life, right? There's some little things that I don't want to spoil. So like I'm watching it. I was watching it at like 10 p.m. one day, and I was just like, I was quite emotional watching it. Like so, as opposed to Ted Lasso, or I'm thinking of even Big Dog Prize, which I adore. I'm thinking of other shows. Like it's not one of the shows that like makes you feeling good after 30 minutes. Like other shows that kind of quote unquote blow up on Twitter. They're like, oh, this is so wholesome. Oh, this is like, it can make you, at least so far, it can make you feeling kind of icky. So, and I was like, oh, this might be why it hasn't blown yet, because it's, its emotions are too, I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't overblow it, but its emotions are
Raw,
too
real,
maybe raw and thorny to unpack in a 15-second clip on Twitter.
fair.
Right? Does that make sense? At least,
So you're saying
again,
it
this might,
has depth?
yes, but no, because I don't. That might make it seem like Ted Lasso didn't have depth, or other kind of wholesome shows don't have depth. Because that's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying like
Yeah,
it's own, like it's not trying to. At least for me, and again, somebody might watch this and think you're completely off base. This is a laugh riot from beginning to end, and I'm cheerful. And maybe it's just me being in a very contemplative point of my life. But I was like, oh, this is not leaving you with the aim of feeling good after that. Maybe after the season you feel good, but you're definitely in the muck with her. Like she's trying to figure shit out, and you're there with her. And I was like, oh, this actually, yeah. So that's just, it's a comedy. I guess I didn't make that clear, but yeah. So How to Die Alone. It's also on a Hulu stroke Disney Plus show. So that's kind of my sneak. I didn't expect to talk so much about How to Die Alone. a show I've only seen 2 episodes of. I guess it hit me more than I thought it did. I don't know. Ebuka, what's your sneak?
Sometimes I wonder what it's like if there's an actor or actress that looks like a high school bully of yours and they get cast in a role where all they do is suffer. I wonder what that catharsis feels like.
Do you wonder? Because it sounds like you know. This is a very specific situation you're describing.
Or you're hoping. It's like,
I mean,
is TV episode 2 hours long?
That is
Why
one
do I keep rewatching it?
request I can make to God. Now it's popped into my head. I can wish for it on my next birthday. My sneak for the fall.
Okay, go ahead.
My sneak for the fall is none other than HBO's, not Max's, HBO's The Penguin.
Ooh, okay.
Guys. So I'll tell you the sequence of events.
Why aren't you covering The Penguin on the podcast?
Oh, because HBO thought we were too late to request the coverage.
Why were we so late?
I don't know, man. Things get in the way, and
because
we cover so much already, and it's just things get jumbled up. But guys, I'll tell you the sequence of it. So on Saturday, I went to see the Batman exhibit because it's in London with all the props and all the Batman films, blah blah blah. And then it made me realize that 2022 film was amazing, right? And I was like, I need to rewatch this. So I started rewatching it and got a decent way through. And the next day, I said I need to watch The Penguin because it's out. So I went in with an open mind. I didn't expect to love the episode half as much as I did. I thought The Penguin was going to be something created for, necessity because that was one of the few characters aside from the Batman in that movie that were interesting. But man, oh man, the show grips you from the very first scene. Farrell grips you from the very first scene. He is amazing for 60 minutes. And if he can do this for 8-10 episodes, I don't know how long HBO have decided this is going to be. Oh my God. It's so impressive. So good. I'm ready to call the performance iconic one episode in his performance of the Penguin. Christ. And I even had to double check in the film if he had his waddle, because waddle is so pronounced in the show. He's just the living, breathing penguin. Apparently he does, but it's not as, I don't feel it's as pronounced as the thingy show. But yeah, and obviously you've got Christina Milioti, who's doing her best insane Arkham patient impression. And her eyes are just, I don't know why I've never noticed how scary her eyes were until today, but she's also doing the do. And one thing that I find exciting about the Penguin so far is that I don't know 100% what tone the show is going to take. It's such a nice balancing act they're doing that I've seen one episode so far, and they've put little elements of everything in it that I'm not 100% sure the show is going to be as dark and gritty as the Batman film.
I'm sure it's going to get quite dark. I think it will mentally be, or its aim is to mentally be darker than the Batman film.
Fair enough.
Maybe not look, but I think it's the point of the show is to show how he becomes a middle manager to becoming the Penguin,
kingpin,
like a mobster. Yeah, so it will definitely go into dark places.
Maybe this
whether it's supposed to do that, we wouldn't know.
Maybe this will be DC's Daredevil.
Don't say anything. Okay.
You can bleep that out.
No, I would if you did.
Guy who has only seen Daredevil. Guy who has only seen Daredevil.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's go. Okay, so October. Do you want to start? What do you have in October? Now we're doing the actual recommendations.
I guess a good place to start for October would probably be Abbott Elementary. At this point, the show has made so much of a name for itself that you definitely have heard about it at some point, but somehow, not even miraculously, just joyously, they've reached season 4. And, it's kind of like, it's a mockumentary style show for anyone who doesn't actually know. It's about these teachers who work at this school that is not in the best condition, to say the least. But one of them, played by the great Quinta Brunson, is just so optimistic about everything and wants everything to work that she puts her heart in it. And, everyone kind of can't help but follow suit in one way or another. Whether it's the principal, who is basically just looking up for how to blow, or this other teacher
A
played
woman after
by,
my own heart.
no, but literally though. And yeah, like the cast is amazing, the storylines are amazing, it's deathly funny, it's just so good. They haven't really revealed what storylines are going to be, I guess, explored in season 4, but the first 3 seasons have been great. It's something we've mentioned a few times on this podcast as well. It's just a really, really nice, wholesome show that manages to still be funny in so many ways that don't even require you to, watch it with like kids, or it doesn't have to be. It shows that
Yeah.
like you can still be wholesome without being fully family friendly, which is kind of like what Ted Lasso did as well.
You don't
So yeah,
think Albert is family friendly?
no, I do think it is, but like I'm just saying that it doesn't restrain itself to that every single
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah,
I have on my notes that like I don't think I'm converting anyone to go watch Albert, but like this is mainly for just people that didn't know it was back because first episode came out last week, October 9th. So, but yeah, I mean, if somehow you don't know about Albert at this point, like I guess go check it out. That would be so weird if you don't know about Albert.
yeah. Tyler James Williams is there too. So
Albert is actually the good comp, and another show I'm going to talk about. To what I was trying to say about How to Die Alone, because I don't think How to Die Alone is wholesome. I think it might eventually
yeah,
have a wholesome agenda or
Message,
some
yeah.
idea, but it's definitely not a wholesome show. Which I think, but it is a sitcom, right? I think there's been, which
yeah.
is funny that out of
Sitcoms are
comedies,
making a comeback.
yeah, I think there's been a big boom of sitcoms. Like it's not, they are comedies like Hacks, Barry, whatever, Veep. Those are not sitcoms. Those are go more into satire than anything else. But I think we're getting a bit of sitcoms this year at least. And How to Die Alone is definitely a sitcom, but it's not something that is definitely not wholesome, at least in my experience of it. So my first one is also a comedy, like I mentioned, is The Franchise. I have stayed away from any trailers about this. I don't know what it's about. Oh, I know what it's about, but I don't know like the plot details. But it comes from Armando Iannucci, who has a lifetime pass in my life. He's the creator of The Thick of It and Veep. Is the writer director of The Death of Stalin. He is the It is the House of Iannucci that brought out people like Will Smith, who does Slow Horses, who brought out the guys behind Four Lions, who brought out Jesse Armstrong. So yeah, Armando Iannucci, his last show on HBO wasn't great, but I'm back there day one. So the franchise is from him and Sam Mendes, who is the writer director behind Skyfall, American Beauty, 1917
1917 too,
years.
right?
Yeah, and then this is basically it's a comedy on HBO about a crew making a superhero film. That's all I know about it. So yeah, considering how Iannucci's previous works have gone, I'm sure it's probably going to be quite biting, even for someone like me who's a superhero fan. So like I'm interested to see the kind of lunacy that the plot will go into. That started October 6th.
Are you expecting gigantic amounts of satire?
I can't imagine I can't imagine it not like really skewering the industry.
The
Like
industry or
yeah,
just the MCU?
I saw a I saw I saw a quote from one of them, either Sam Mendes or Iannucci, or they're like most of the show is based on actual stories that their friends have told them. That there was a friend of theirs that was working on a superhero film, and he didn't know that basically the studio was doing another cut of the film somewhere else, like they were shooting another version of the film somewhere else, and they were never going to
What?
use what he was shooting, which is just an insane thing to think about. And it's also quite funny that this show is on HBO. Like it's almost like this show being on Disney Plus. I'm like HBO. Did you not know what you were what you were signing off when you brought these guys into the house? But yeah, the franchise on October 6th. I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, it's funny. Ebuka, what's your first
My
October
October
pick?
pick, October is the month of Halloween, so I had to go something slightly scary. I usually like horror TV shows because I feel like they give you a much better chance of falling in love and being scared for the characters.
Top three
And
horror TV
really,
shows, go.
Haunting of Hill House from what else could I put there?
Is
I
it
don't want to say
same
Midnight
Haunting of
Mass
Bly
because
Manor?
Midnight Mass is popular, but I'll say Midnight Mass. But Haunting of Hill
I thought
House
you were
is
just
like
gonna
my
go the
number one.
three. I just gonna go the three Mike Flanagan films. Just go Blind Manor, Hill
Yeah, I
House,
like
and
Blind Manor as
Midnight
well.
And
Mass.
Midnight Mass.
I haven't seen the what's the one, the downfall of those guys. I forgot what it's called. It was on Netflix.
The Fall of the House of Usher. Why do I know
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I was like,
I haven't seen that one. Thank you. But yeah,
it
but
fell out of my mouth. I was like, I've never watched this show. Why do I know what I'm like?
Haunting of Hill
Anyway,
House
sorry,
is
continue.
amazing. But yeah, horror shows usually give you a chance to go deep into characters and all that. But I choose Teacup for October. Teacup will fill the From shaped hole in your life. Although by the time this comes out, From will also be back out for season 3. But if you like From, even ever so slightly, you should like Teacup. Teacup is, I think, executive produced by James Wan, the guy behind Saw, Insidious, and the Conjuring franchises. So he knows what he's
Aquaman
doing.
2.
Why did you say
Aquaman
that?
2.
Bleep that out. Anyway, so so as I was saying, James Wan knows what he's doing when it comes to horror. Are you happy? When it comes to horror. I have the funniest story about Aquaman 2 that I can't tell now because of how Bike has tried to discredit James Wan. But yeah, Teacup should be fun.
I'm not
Basically,
scared of James 1. First Aquaman is fun.
okay, the premise of Teacup is very simple. We've only got a teaser trailer, but basically, these people in this small town think they're farmers. Suddenly, there's a supernatural thing haunting them. Right? Not even haunting, hunting. I should say hunting. No, Haunt. So the trailer is very short, but it was enough to get me excited to watch them try and deal with this thing from week to week, episode through episode, and it did actually look scary. So yeah, looking forward to it. It should be good for October.
Okay. I've actually never heard about that, so fair enough. Ebube, what's your second October pick?
Second October pick would have to be Shrinking. It's just it's
Comes
just
out
such
this
a good
week,
show.
16th.
Yeah, it's basically about this guy who is grieving. Like he's seriously grieving because he's lost his wife. And that's not even a spoiler, it's literally revealed in like the first few minutes. That's like basically the premise of the show. He's lost his wife and he happens to be a psychiatrist. He is, well, a shrink. And he finds himself shrinking. Yeah, I know, pun intended. And this is what they went for. Because he's diminished in his own life. He doesn't know what he's doing. He feels like he has no direction. And the loss of his wife has really derailed his entire situation so much that he forgets that he's not the only one who lost his wife. She was also lost by their friends and, quite crucially, their daughter, who he essentially hasn't paid any real attention to since she died. And the daughter is definitely mad at him for this. She does not feel so good about their family life. She seeks validation and care elsewhere. It's just a really, really funny show that has so much heart as the characters try to figure out who they are now in their new situation. The cast itself is incredible. You know, of course, the guy I'm talking about is played by Jason Segel of How I Met Your Mother fame, as among other things. Harrison Ford is in this show as Jason Segel's boss, who is also, you know, a psychotherapist. And Jessica Williams is here too. She is hilarious, and her performance is really, really good. Yeah, the whole cast is great. I kid you not, I watched this entire show maybe in 2 sittings. Like I remember one Sunday morning, I was getting ready to, you know, handle a bunch of things that I normally just have to do in the weekends, and I was I found like before I knew it, I was on like episode 3, and basically by the end of Monday, I had finished the whole thing. Like the show was just so smooth to watch. It was really engaging, and you really got a chance to invest in the characters. And that first season ends in a very cool way because essentially some chickens come home to roost for the main character based on some things he said. Because one big part of the show is the fact that he decides, in part of as part of his recovery, he decides, well, as a quote unquote shrink, you know what, I'm done playing things politically correct. I'm done being careful. I'm just gonna tell my patients how I feel. And we see
Gets
how that,
unhealthily involved in their
yeah, and he
lives.
gets he gets very, 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 very involved in their personal lives. And it's just not what anybody who has ever worked in any medical field would approve of. I
Yeah.
actually showed this show to my friend Tola, who was with us earlier this year to talk about Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
And of course, Tola is an actual therapist and she does couple stuff too. And she was stressed the entire time. Stressed enough that she wanted to keep watching, but absolutely stressed. Like I watched the first episode with her, she was like, "This can't be happening. This can't be happening." Like literally every 2 minutes, this can't be happening. So yeah, it gets a seal of approval from her too because she had a lot of good things to say about it. So definitely
Can
watch
I just
Shrinking. It's on
say,
Apple TV Plus.
it would be so hilarious to watch Tola as in become the Jason Segel character because she's a couples therapist. So she's like she becomes in a couple's lives. So she's like on date nights with them. That would be like. So like,
It
why
would
did you
be,
say that?
it might be hilarious, but I can tell
Yeah,
you,
why did
for
you say that
someone
to
who
him?
knows Tola, it would never happen. Like she has so many checks and balances that even if the patients wanted this, they would not be able to catch her. Like it's just impossible. She has made it
It's such a fun.
impossible for such a thing to be the
Yeah,
case.
it's a hilarious premise though, because just like how many therapists are just wanted to tell their patients like, shut up and go do this, don't do that. Like,
Leave
don't go
your
back to that
husband.
toxic man.
Are you
Like,
not allowed to do that? Are you not
no,
allowed to do
You are
that?
not allowed to
no, you
tell them
can't.
what to do in
Can't
their
just
actual
tell
life.
them what to
You're
do.
supposed to help them see things so that they can come to
Oh,
decisions on their own and exercise agency.
I feel like I'm always realizing stuff that everybody knows.
I'm glad you're learning how therapy works. Yeah, it comes from the brain trust of Bill Lawrence, who people might most know from what they call it, Scrubs, Ted Lasso,
And
and
Ted
Bad
Lasso,
Monkey, which is on Apple TV right now. He created this with Jason
Brett
Segel and
Goldstein,
Brett Goldstein, yeah, who
yeah,
plays
Roy Kent.
Roy on Ted Lasso, and I believe Brett is finally making an appearance on Shrinking this season. So
They tried to convince him. Like they really tried to
yeah.
convince him. I don't know how he agreed because he was very adamant about not doing it. But we'll see how
Well, he
it
said
goes.
until the right character came along, and I think probably one has come along now. Okay, so we're saying October. My October pick is English Teacher, staying on the comedy front. Speaking about sitcoms being back, man, the show is funny. The show is follows a group of teachers that I had never seen before. Like there was one character who plays Marcus's friend or one actor, sorry, who plays Marcus's friend on The Bear. He's the only person that I got really seen. I hadn't seen any of the other actors before.
Okay.
I think Brian Jordan Alvarez kind of grew his following on like TikTok and social media and everything before getting the show. I didn't know any of his work, so it was like just a refreshing thing to see all of them. It follows an English teacher basically, and it's a sitcom. It's like it just follows the things that happen in the school in Texas, but it's not cookie cutter. It's on FX, I believe, so on Disney Plus, wherever you're watching this. So it's like it touches on like I don't say it touches on sensitive topics. That sounds a bit too press releasey, but it touches on topics that like are a bit more intense, I guess. Like there's a school shooting episode, but like in a different way than you would expect. There's a drag episode. Episode 2 is a drag episode, but again in a different direction that you might expect. It doesn't really follow the formula that you might expect. So yeah, no, English teacher, I just think it's hilarious, personally. And so yeah, enjoying it a lot, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. Ebuka, do you have a second pick?
Of course, I have a second pick. My second pick
Oh,
is
okay. Nigga does his homework once.
my second pick is McMahon on Netflix. No chance. That's
This
what
this
you
is
got.
this is close to you, right? This
Oh
guy was
my
like
god!
your role model.
No,
This
please,
tracks
please,
Loki.
please,
You're
please,
like,
never, ever, ever. But I will say, if you have an interest in WWE wrestling, WWF, WCW, any interest in professional wrestling, this documentary is going to be fun for you to watch, right? Because wrestling documentaries are almost always good. I don't think I've watched a bad wrestling documentary. Netflix would have to try really hard to make one that's not good. And Mr. McMahon is honestly a very fascinating character. Terrible human being, extremely terrible human being. I want to see if the documentary is actually going to be truthful in how terrible he was and not whitewash him, because I feel like even with the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, they toned down some of the not so good parts. So everyone's hoping that this is accurate to how evil Mr. McMahon actually is. But he has a really fascinating story. The story of the WWE is tied to him, and the story of WWE is really, really fascinating. They could make, honestly, I believe they could make a 3-season show out of Mr. McMahon's marriage to WWE. But yeah, it should be good. There's a lot of fun storylines, fun things to explore, sad things as well in his life and things that he's done. But I'm hoping overall it gives us a very good profile into him and the company that he built. So I have faith in them to make it good.
I was getting to docuseries on this list. It was not on my bingo card. Any other October?
Maybe they're making a comeback too.
Yeah, maybe we should become a documentary podcast.
Uh,
Popcorn docs.
Documentaries
Oh,
are sick,
popcorn
man. I
docs.
keep trying to preach the gospel. Popcorn dots, pop
Pop
dots.
docs.
Get sponsored by Doc Martens, a yellow color.
I mean, okay.
I'm not mad at
Yeah.
it.
Hey, don't shoot me because I'm presenting new ideas.
No, I'm enjoying the ideas. Anything that brings money. Any other
Okay.
October
That
picks?
brings money.
My final
Brings money to me,
October.
yes, please. I may or may not have
My
my
final
biggest Charles
October.
Nani impression and just skim off the top, but that's for a different day. That's for a different day. Your final October pick. If you have any other one.
Yeah, I have one more October pick, and it's called The Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, I think, or it's Wizards of Waverly
You are
Place, or
not
Wizard,
going to watch
whatever.
the Wizards
It's a
Beyond. Just
sequel.
who are you? Who is this
I
for?
actually
Who
think he
is
might.
this
Wait,
for?
wait. Okay, wait. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Let me explain. When the news first popped up, I thought I wasn't going to do this, right? But then I watched a YouTube retrospective on Wizards of Waverly Place the other day, and Wizards of Waverly Place holds up like a motherfucker, you know. That show was good. It wasn't just your teenage eyes. That show was good, right? So I thought, out of respect for that show, I was going to give this show a couple of episodes,
Okay.
right? But then when I found out Alex Russo wasn't going to be in it, Max wasn't going to be in it, their mom wasn't going to be in it, I cut that down to one episode. So I'll give them one episode and see if
But
they can keep me up.
I think she's in that one episode.
Yeah, Alex is in one.
So,
Yeah,
so you have to watch
I
another
heard
one
that
that
as well. So
watch another one that she's not in to figure out if you're going to stay.
nah, I've. What if I like the one she's in and I'm already going to watch that one anyway? See,
Have you?
you're assuming I won't like that one.
No, I'm assuming you like that one. So I'm assuming then go with
Yeah.
one more to figure out whether you want to stay. Go with one that
Okay,
she's
to
not
figure
in
out if I
because that's the
actually
template
okay.
for the show. Have you watched any
Fair.
of these revivals of shows that we loved? Or if not
Do
loved, at
Disney
least
even
watched?
make good shows anymore for like
Well,
Disney Channel?
It's not for
No,
us.
honestly, what's the sweet life for children these? Okay,
I
but
don't
what's the
know.
sweet life for children these days?
Unfortunately, I'm not hanging
Zardark.
around with 13-year-olds to know.
I think they're all on YouTube and TikTok, man.
That's
Like,
fair.
this is how we breed. This is how we breed a generation that can only consume media through TikToks and fan cams.
Because I think Sabrina Carpenter was on a Disney show, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Oh damn,
A lot of these people
we're
were.
old.
So we're old. So How I Met Your Mother, because I loved How I Met Your Mother, I think I gave How I Met Your Father a few episodes. This was like months after the season had ended. I said, let me just try it. I was like, no. I'm not someone that's going to be like, you're ruining the legacy. I think that stuff's still there. But if there was any of these reboots I was going to try, I'd probably have been iCarly, and I still didn't watch iCarly, so like I don't think I'm going to watch this one.
I saw clips of
Like,
the iCarly reboots. I feel like if you're somebody who likes iCarly, it should be fine. I never truly watched iCarly, so like I wouldn't
oh,
know.
fine.
But
I liked iCarly a lot. I mean, I don't know the law
I was more of a
like
Drake
that.
and Josh kind of person. And Miranda
If
Cosgrove
there was
was
a Drake,
great there too.
if there was a Drake and Josh revival or reboot, would you watch it with
Probably
Drake and
because
Josh?
because like I've learned a lot. I mean, not even learned a lot, just seen a lot of what has happened with those two people who play those two characters like through the years. And apparently, a lot of people discovered in the past decade that Drake Bell is apparently a questionable human being,
Yeah,
and
and I
Josh
think
Peck everybody still seems to love. So,
also had some
and
things happen to him based on that documentary. I think the Dan
yeah,
Schneider
I actually
documentary.
did see that documentary. What was it called? Behind the
I can't
Scene.
remember.
I don't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, like
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, there was a documentary that came out about like how about essentially abuse of kids of child stars in on Nickelodeon sets. Pretty fascinating stuff, actually. Yeah,
And then on the flip side, there's Josh Peck who was in Best Picture winner Oppenheimer. So
Oppenheimer. Yeah. Oh my god, the way I was shocked when I saw his face there.
I'm
I
so
was like, like that. It's just that's just something you expect from Christopher Nolan movies at this point. Like you just don't know who you're going to see. Like you just start seeing random. It's
yeah,
like, yo, what is this guy doing here?
I think he made a pointed effort to like cast those guys because I think the guy from not Teenage Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think he's also. I never watched that franchise, but I think he's also in Oppenheimer. He's one of the guys in Oppenheimer. Like he casts lots of. Obviously, you have Jack Quaid. He casts lots of those guys that you would know from things
Yeah,
when you were younger. And yeah.
it's
Anyway,
just like
that's
how
different.
Harry Styles is in Dunkirk.
Yeah, I mean, he claims he didn't know who Harry Styles was when he cast him. I guess it's up to how much you want to believe him. He doesn't have a cell phone,
Yeah,
so I think I believe him.
I do believe
doesn't he
him,
have
but
children? He has children,
yeah,
right?
but
I mean, I guess he does, but he wouldn't. As in,
Does he? Does he have female children?
so you think he knew, like, because of them, or like they
I
saw
don't think
him?
he actually
Because
believe him when he says he doesn't know. But like the people
like, I think he
around
knew
him,
after he
they
cast
knew.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he knew who Harry Styles was, like,
Fair,
but I don't think he knew
fair.
who Harry Styles was. Like, I don't think everybody knows who their daughters listen to now. You just know you have to pay for the ticket.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless you're Josh Hartnett from Trap, and then you're going to the Lady Raven concert. Okay, let's go to November as we wrap up. Ebube, do you want to start? What's your November pick?
jeez. The one thing I'm looking forward to for November is Bad Sisters.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, I know there's a lot of great stuff that's coming out at that time, including, Silo, which everybody should watch. But Bad Sisters is just, I was late to the train of Bad Sisters. It's something that has been mentioned right here on this podcast. It's something that I know, you know, Bankole likes, Ayo likes. Like, it's just, I don't know. I've heard good things, but like, I never paid attention to it. But then somehow, and this is kind of an unnecessary story, I suppose, but like, I got really, really sick at the end of March out
Ebube,
of nowhere.
Ebube.
Yes, sir.
None of your stories is ever unnecessary. This is a safe space. Every story you tell is necessary.
Your words matter. Your feelings matter.
Yes.
I appreciate that because wow, was I going through a lot back then? Oh my god. I suddenly got sick in March. We didn't know what it was. It turned out to be some kind of weird viral infection that thankfully was not COVID. And while I was recovering, I was just at home, like trying to. I mean, the people in my house were trying to make sure that I kept eating, which I would normally run from, but I didn't have strength to run, so I just kept eating, taking down whatever medication was given to me, and eating lots of, I guess, chicken. But I was at home and I was just watching the show. I said, let me just finally check out this show because I do like Apple TV Plus shows. We've belabored the fact that they just don't seem to want to market their gems. Thankfully, we've gone through a few of them on this podcast, but I just thought, Bad Sisters, let me finally check it out. And the main reason I checked it out was because Ayo specifically said that the antagonist in that show is like the most hateable person you've seen.
He's the worst
in
person
anything.
ever made. He's the worst person
Like
ever made. It's
literally
like,
the worst character in fiction. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if this is true. And
I think he's there
within
within
the first,
Thanos. Like, I think he's the worst villain ever.
bro, within the first episode, I was already about to start like messaging Ayers like, yo, like you didn't warn me enough for this. Like I didn't realize how much stress. I'm already sick. I'm already sick.
John Paul,
And
God,
what, like, whoa, it's,
the way
it's so
the way
well
he says "mommy,"
portrayed. Every time it says, you know what? Let's not even. I want people to just go and just just start it and see how you feel, because honestly, I wasn't prepared for how strongly I was going to feel about this character or the stuff that's going on. And I suppose now would be a good time to tell you what actually happens in the show. Basically,
Well, I mean, how can you
can I
say it
say what
without
happens in the
really?
show?
Yeah, you can't really say without spoiling it.
Okay, what I can
Actually,
say,
I think you can. 'Cause I think the show starts with it.
yeah, like it's literally in the first scene, essentially.
Yeah,
And essentially there is a character who has died. This character happens to be the husband of one of five sisters. They all live in Ireland, and essentially we we spend the show unraveling the story of how this person died and who was involved. And in the course of doing so, we learn a lot about the relationship between the five sisters, how close they are, how far apart they can be at times, and all the people around them who kind of created the situation that led to not only the state of their current relationships, but I guess the fate of this character in question who dies.
yeah.
It's really, really good. It's created by Sharon Hogan, who also acts in the show. It's got some familiar faces. The narrative is amazing. They do like a two
Eve
timeline thing, which is
Hewson,
always cool. Yeah, Eve Hewson.
who is Bono's
It's really
daughter, I
nice.
think. And has
Yeah, it
incredible
ends
eyes.
really, really well. Yeah, no, she actually is Bono's daughter. That's
Yeah,
actually a fact. You're correct about that. It ends in an interesting way as well that made me feel, yeah, this was a really great story. So when I heard there was going to be a season two, I was like, oh wow, like
yeah. I am.
what are they going to do to me now?
I'm very worried about the season two. Not very. That's a harsh. I'm worried, but it's Sharon Hogan, so you kind of have faith in her. But like the
Yeah.
way season one ended, and I think it's based on maybe a Danish show. I think, which I think its own story was over. So, and just because, I mean, it's not again. This I don't know if it's a spoiler. Is it a spoiler to say who died?
Was trying to avoid
Yes.
doing so just to make it
Okay.
as
Yes, it's a
immersive as
spoiler.
possible for
Okay,
anybody who goes
I
to
would
watch
say
it.
it. Well, anyone, please go
Yeah.
watch it. But the person who died, this is a show of brilliant performances, as we've just mentioned. The guy
He's
who plays
Danish.
John Paul is a brilliant performance. Sharon Hogan is a brilliant performance. But the person who dies, it's an incredible performance, and I was a bit worried of what the show might look like without that performance going ahead. Again, you just have to
Oh,
respect. I'll have a lot of faith in Sharon Hogan.
I
Hopefully,
mean, I feel
comes
like they'll
out
probably
good.
still do some flashbacks.
Maybe. So I should say that our return in November will hopefully, all things going according to plan, will be heralded by our coverage of Bad Sisters. Hopefully, Aisha should be leading that, and we have kind of like a fun group of people planned for that. So that should be good. All I would say about Bad Sisters is I remember watching it and I went in thinking, oh, this is going to be some like deep prestige TV character study. No, it's a very schlocky and very pulpy show. Like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a very fun show. It's not like it's not kind of any air of like there's some parts are just stupid. Like somebody tries to kill somebody and then they end up poisoning the dog or something along. I need to rewatch the season, but like
Yeah.
it's. I realize that it's a show that it's the best version of the shows that Netflix has been putting out for the last 3 years. Like you know those Netflix shows that come out and you watch them over a weekend
I will
and you
second that.
forget
Yeah.
and you forget about it. This is the best version of that, where it has all those like pulpy feel to it, but at the same time it's like very well made, very funny, very good, and it's just it started the trend of those shows that I realized, oh, you're not quite like the best show of the year, but you're also like my seventh show, and they were all on Apple TV, where it's like you're the best version of the Netflix mainstream. Like it started with Bad Sisters, then it was like Hijack. This year was Presumed Innocent, where it's just like, oh, you're better than most, and you kind of know the arena that you're playing around in. I was like, oh, actually, I would rather watch you than watch behind the eyes. not to take a random shot at a show I never watched, but you
I
get my
don't think
point.
that was a random shot, but go on.
I think the Eve Houston thing was playing in my head. That was the reason why it was there. But I never watched Behind the Eyes, so it might be great. I'm sorry. But yeah, Bad Sisters. Okay, so
I will say I
yeah,
will
go
say
ahead.
something though,
What?
that when it comes to Apple TV, I think I'll always give an Apple TV show a season one. Like I'll always watch the first season of
Yeah,
an Apple TV show.
they
I might not
always deserve a
continue,
shot.
but I feel like yeah,
I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, with this show, I mean, sure, I have memories now. Like, my brain literally associates it with like being motionless on the couch, thinking about the fact that I'm sick. But
Do you know I'm
like,
going to say
so I'm looking to
something?
make new memories with the show. But still, like, it was such an amazing thing
fair.
to watch because it was just so engaging. Like, it got to a point where like I had to take breaks sometimes, and I don't know. This may be because I was kind of sick, but also like like there's so much happening in every single episode that you feel like the pacing is good. That was something that I remember saying out loud while watching it. I was like, this show is very well paced. They reveal
I would say
information
something
at
though.
the exact right time you need it to understand everything you need to know to continue watching.
Yeah, also something. What you're describing is one of the best feelings I think in TV though. I think when you're like that ill as you were, and you find
Yeah,
something that gives you a good feeling, like a TV show, like the connection you have
yeah,
with it is like, because most times, most things you watch when you're in that state, like you can't even get through it. You either fall asleep, you're just like, I can't be
yeah.
bothered to watch this.
You're right.
But when you find something that actually, like the connection you have with it will be, it make it feel better than it actually is as a show. And it's like, it's one of the best feelings when you can find something when you're that ill that actually makes you feel good. I mean, that should seem like common sense, but when you experience it, you're like, oh, this actually it's almost a different kind of experience. Ebuka, what's your November pick?
My November pick is Dune Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I need to start telling you guys about the greatness of Dune, the movies from Denis. But I
You
feel
can if
like
you
I have high
want.
hopes for this show because although the book for this show wasn't written by what's the name of the guy, Patrick
Frank
Herbert?
Herbert.
Frank Herbert.
Yeah, Frank Herbert. Yeah, I think the book for this was written by his child and another writer. But I have faith in what the show looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be very political
Mm-hmm.
thriller, and you know what the Bene Gesserit are. They're an ancient sisterhood that try and move the world according to how they think it should be, with seeing years and years into the future and trying to manipulate kings and the outcome of everything. So
The
I think it
real
should be fun. It
villains.
also
Yeah.
has Travis Fimmel in it, who is the love of my life.
Wow.
But yeah, man,
Wait,
it's
who is this
I
person that you
actually
guys
did
it's
are?
not know that.
it should be good.
Who is this?
Travis Fimmel, Ragnar Lothbrok. He played
From
Ragnar
Oh,
Vikings.
on
He's
Vikings.
Ragnar in Vikings. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing. Do you know literally that
He gave
statement
one of
alone
the
has actually just elevated this show on my priority list for November.
I'm
Wow.
so
I
he
happy.
genuinely
gave
did
one
not
of the
know that.
best performances I've ever seen. And
Wow.
yeah, I think he has a strong role in this. He's not just a side character, so I'm excited for that.
Fair. Mark Strong is in it. I know that, and but like I think I said
Yes.
it earlier in the year when we were talking about it. I mean, the trailers look good. I'm a bit torn on this show because the trailers look, or the trailer I've seen looks good. And I remember watching the trailer, and Olivia Williams and Emily Watson pop on. I was like, oh, this makes sense. That these two, like, it's bit older British women who have liked in different things are just going to be. It makes sense. You are clearly the descendant or the precursor to Rebecca Ferguson or Charlotte
Yeah.
Rampling. It tracks. We still don't have a date at time of recording. I think by the time this comes out, hopefully you have a date. But we still have a date for this show. And I don't know. I'm a bit. I don't know. It's weird because like it looks good. But
One
obviously,
one thing
no. Go ahead. One
one
thing.
thing I'll say though is that there's not a lot of exposition in the Dune movies. So if you're curious about the world and
Yeah.
things that could have happened, because this is set 10,000 years in the past before the Dune films, I feel like this show might,
Yeah,
give
I'm sure
some exposition that,
there will be no sandworm riding in this show. Yeah,
yeah,
but like what I was going to say is like obviously like you said the book is not Frank Herbert's book, and also this might be going behind the scenes a little bit too much on how the sausage was made, but I know there was a bit of like upheaval in the production process. We still don't have an
Yeah.
exact date, and it's only 6 episodes. I don't know. I think it's a 1-season show, but it's only 6 episodes. So like, this kind of things that make me feel like is there a quality issue here? But what we've
Lost directors,
but
lost writers.
exactly. But what we've seen looks good. So I'm a bit skeptical. I don't know. I just hope. Obviously the fact that HBO moved it to HBO and not Max, just like they did with Penguin, is a positive sign. But I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it's good. I would really like to. I would like it to be good. Could be a fun 6 weeks. My November pick, which I think I might just throw it back to you to talk about it. It's November. It's Silo. It's coming out November 15th. Oh, unfortunately, we're not covering this. Just, I mean, maybe I'm talking too soon. Maybe November 15th we'll be covering it. But yeah, it would be. I think you enjoyed the show more than I did. If you watched it, right?
Not so much. Like I looked at synopses and I didn't get a chance to actually get into it too much. Like I was the one I prefer because I preferred Foundation as a show, but then again I was told that by people who watched Foundation, that other people who watched Foundation that also watched Silo, that this would be something that I would also like because it's just in that bucket of Apple TV Plus going into like sci-fi stuff in an interesting way. Yeah. But I know that it ended on a cliffhanger in the first season, and
I mentioned Silo. I should probably rewatch the first season. I mentioned Silo in our end of year wrap up last year. I can't remember where I mentioned it because it wasn't in my top 10. But it was a show that I enjoyed and I liked, but I wanted to like more than I ended up liking. And this might be like, you know how you have the inverse of what I was saying about watching something when you're ill. It might be a thing that the way I watched it affected how I enjoyed it. Because like, I think everything is there. Rebecca Ferguson, speaking of Dune, she's excellent in the show. Like she's excellent in this show.
It's
like
one of the biggest draws, in fact.
Yeah. Common is here doing Common stuff, like doing Common from John Wick stuff. There are a bunch of actors that we like doing things here. I can't remember his name. Jerome Mormont from Game of Thrones.
Ian Glenn.
Yeah, he's here as Rebecca Ferguson's dad. Why am I blanking on names? Shawshank Redemption, Morgan Freeman, and what's the white guy's name?
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. Yeah, Tim Robbins is here as well.
Harriet Walter as well.
Walter
we love us some Harriet Walter.
Doing an interesting American accent. I was like, maybe you should just stop the British.
Yeah, and she's I think she's been in something else with Rebecca Ferguson as well. If you watch The Spanish Princess, on Stars, like they have this thing that looks at
Rebecca Ferguson was in a Stars show.
Yes.
Is that before Mission Impossible?
No, it's this show that's there's a series of shows on Stars that kind of explores the line of queens that were married to English royalty, like Henry VIII and some of the predecessors. And The Spanish Princess looks at Catherine of Aragon specifically. But Rebecca Ferguson is like in one of those shows. I think the one before The Spanish Princess. I forget what it's called right now. Harriet Walter is the
White Queen.
The White Queen. Yeah. Harriet Walter is the mother of Henry VIII in The Spanish Princess, and of course she is the mother of the Roy siblings in succession, and she's just amazing in that role.
And she's Hannah Waddingham's Rebecca's mother in Ted Lasso, which is funny because I think I was watching both seasons at the same time. Ted Lasso and
she's just great at playing like wild moms in whatever forms they come.
And just to confirm, yes, the White Queen was before Mission Impossible. I was like, how is she on a Star show after Mission Impossible? After Ilsa Faust. Yeah, okay, but it's a show that, like I said, we might cover. I'm going to be there day one to watch the show. I might rewatch season 1 and come up with a different interpretation of season 1. I might enjoy it a lot more this time. But yeah, it was a show that I was like, I like you, but I wanted to like you more. But yeah, I'm interested to see. But like again, it's Apple TV sci-fi. Like that's kind of their strongest bag. That's where they do the most like nothing. Not nothing, that's harsh, but like what they do is not gonna end up being a top 10 of all time. Like the next Game of Thrones is not gonna be on Apple TV. But if you give 100 people an Apple TV subscription and say watch these sci-fi shows, I think 90% of them will be like satisfied. You
Like
know what I
I'm
mean? Like
happy to be here. Yeah.
yeah, it is not that. They've had a few quote unquote bad ones early in their run, or at least bad for me. But I think since then, I don't think they really have a show that is bad. It might not be for you, but I don't think it's like, I think it would be for its audience. I mean, we all know my love for Mankind. Um, there's obviously Severance, Foundation. I haven't watched, but everybody speaks highly of season 2. So yeah, I think any other things that you guys want to pitch before we wrap up?
Day of the Jackal. Eddie
Have you
Redmayne is
watched the
playing a
movie?
killer. I am
Yeah, I heard
excited to
about that
see
one.
that. I have not.
Obiora loves that movie. So that means it probably came out in like
Interesting. I'm
1950
just
something.
yeah, probably 1970. I think it's the 1970 or 73. But yeah,
Because
I'm excited to see Eddie
73, you're
Redmayne
right.
be a serial killer.
Guess who? This is random, but guess who? Because I know this fact. Guess who played the Jackal in Day of the Jackal 1973?
You have to give me options though.
Okay.
That's such a random pool.
Yeah, that was the stupid. He's British. He has connections to a British actor and a British public personality. A British actor that we've seen on TV this year, and I have seen in
What the
previous
fuck?
seasons of that show. I like. Okay, let me
That's so
okay.
big.
A British actor that we saw in House of the Dragon and was on that TV show that I like, that we covered this year.
Oh
That's the best I
wow,
can give
really?
And
you.
he played the jackal. He played
He
the
played the
jackal.
Jackal.
I guess I mean I don't even know what we're talking about, but I know the answer now just based on that.
Really?
Yeah.
I really don't. Help me out, Ebu.
Freddie Fox.
How did you? Oh wait,
Why would it be Freddie
I mean
Fox? Wow.
it is Freddie Fox, but how did
We're talking
you?
about
Well,
what the
because
fuck? You said 1973.
No, his dad played the Jackal, not him.
Oh god, you said he played the jackal.
Okay, yeah, I said he played Jackal. So everybody's answer is wrong, but he got the person that
Okay.
was like trying to,
Yeah,
because I said he's related to the person.
connect.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, his dad played the Jackal. That's Freddie Fox, who was great on Slow Horses and is in House of the Dragon. Really fun
Gwen
as the
Hightower.
brother, Green Hightower. But guess who Freddie Fox's cousin is? Have I said this before? I said this before on the podcast, but probably not to you guys. But I don't think you know this person because this is very British pilled.
Yeah, I'm
Ebuka, do you know who Lawrence
Oh,
Fox is?
interesting. I think so.
Do
That's
you know who Lawrence
Loza,
Fox
right?
is? Yes,
I think I know
Loza.
who Lawrence Fox is. I think. Yeah.
How do we describe him
Okay.
to a non-British resident?
I don't know. I'm actually going to.
Like,
He's
like
a- what do you
Andrew
call
Tate,
it?
but for the Gen X.
Oh my god! I was going to say he's an internet personality, but yeah, if you want to put it that way,
Yeah,
sure,
Andrew
yeah.
Tate, but like not for the like for Gen X, yeah, for like people before millennials. I think that's the best way of putting it. So yeah, that's a
What?
very funny
How
family
did I
tree.
Google this guy and literally his title is former actor? What does that even mean?
He claims that his political views. Anyway, but yeah, that's just the one Freddie Fox
Oh
trivia
no!
piece of trivia.
Oh, I need to stop
They
reading.
said, "Oh no,
I need to stop reading.
oh no, it's
Oh,
killing
wow.
me." Sorry, but yeah, what's Day of the Jackal about, and then we'll wrap up there.
Oh, Day of the Jackal is basically Eddie Redmayne is this serial killer who has evaded the forces for such a long time all around Europe. It's a British TV show, British TV show helmed by Sky, and it's going to be about a police chase. So you can almost rest assured that it's going to be of a decent level. I mean, when you put those things together, you have a good feeling about the show.
The only
It's
way
got
better
Lashana
was
Lynch
if it
in it
was
as well.
if it was a BBC show, but Sky
Exactly.
is fine.
That's the only thing left. Exactly. It's got Lashana Lynch in it, playing the detective trying to catch Eddie Redmayne. And I'm just excited to see Redmayne in this role. Let me see his.
A different
I don't
side
know
of
if I've
him.
ever seen him in anything.
Does it
like
have
this.
like Catch Me
Yeah,
If You Can
exactly.
vibes?
Oh no, I think this is much.
Yeah,
This is darker.
This is like
Yeah,
okay, and like an actual killer.
Yeah.
Like he's not just escaping. He's an assassin.
Catchy Rika was whimsy. It was ooh. Like, let's do some forgery. Yeah, people are actually dying.
He was skipping.
Yes.
Wow.
At least a good portion of shows for people that want to listen. or rather watch. We'll be back in a month's time, middle of November, hopefully covering Bad Sisters. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say before you go on your break?
I wish I put more Netflix shows on because I know that's where a lot of people spend their time. But I feel like Netflix release all the episodes at once, so it's kind of hard to give them too much credits.
That's fair.
My greatest thing is how I have evolved you into this person. Like
Me?
hating binge
What if I was always
drops.
this person deep
I don't
down?
think you were. I don't think you.
And
Okay, deep down. Okay, I'm happy I've
it
opened
was
the door
just
for you. Like
okay.
the takes you come out
Good.
with, the anger you have or something. It's like that's my son. I'm like, oh yes. Go out. Hate binge drops as well. Because before I was one
Oh
shouting
my god.
against the wind. Yeah, and also like
Wow.
there's just so much TV out there. Go check it out. Is there anything else? Oh, we're all for sure coming back after this break, right? This is not like type of break people take and then just never come back. Like,
We're definitely coming back.
Inshallah.
okay, all right, okay.
Definitely coming back. The only thing I'll say in terms of what to watch, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what else I discover. I'm trying to I feel like a lot of stuff I watch tends to be very similar to stuff I've seen before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what surprises me. And I tend to also watch a lot of like YouTube video essays. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe one of these days we'll recommend like
YouTube video essays.
or at
Every frame
least
a
channels.
painting.
Yeah, things. No, genuinely though, literally stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Because that guy posted for the first time in
take.
like 7
When he
years,
returned, it was a public
and
holiday.
it was
We're
like, what's going on?
you guys know frame painting is back. This is a serious issue.
Yeah, it was like an implosion. So yeah, definitely looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, okay, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our recommendations. Hopefully, one or two things here are worth your time. If you're someone that doesn't like comedies, hello, Aisha. Unfortunately, most of these recommendations are comedies. But yeah, there's also Day of the
Hi,
Jackal,
Aisha.
which a lot of people dying. So that should be a good balance in
Is
that.
Aisha funny?
Well, she would respond to that question when she listens to this. Why did you ask if she's funny?
Okay,
That
I'm
is-
just asking because maybe she just watches comedies. Like these people just,
And
you know,
they're not
when
funny
people
enough.
are like good at something.
She's like,
Exactly.
Aisha is
You know,
very
so-
funny. Her
so maybe
sense of
that's what
humor
it
is
So you're like, she's like,
just different from yours.
yeah. That's how you
Okay,
feel when you watch
okay.
like body horror. You're like, oh, this was like my last Tuesday. You watch Titan and you're like,
you know,
She
what's funny?
enjoys cynicism.
Body horror isn't the worst thing you could have said. So let's just leave it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I had other options. I was like, no, let's not do that.
You cycle
This
through
episode
them.
can still
Okay.
be non-explicit. So I said, let me just keep it PG. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. Yeah, and join us next week when we'll be joined by Oscar winner, of course. My number one recommendation every time, Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.
DK.